interest rate spiked over 7%, and it caused a minor correction from November to February in the state of Texas. That's what we saw. It was all across the state, and including here in North Texas. We saw a really soft market. But I've got some great news. I actually killed it during that period of time using what's known as the 2-1 buy down. And many of you have heard what this is. I want to share with you today what it is, how it works, and how to use this. Both sellers and buyers need this. Sellers have an advantage right now in that they have tremendous equity tapped into their house. And if you could show them how to use that equity to navigate into a new house and also entice a buyer, you're going to get some transactions if this market really cools down. Let me show you how it works. So first off, let me start out with Mortgage News Daily. This is one of the best sites. It tracks mortgage rates. Like, look at the headline. Rates are changing. Yeah, rates officially high since November. That was the big headline that you're going to see all over the business news today. And then you can see they're at 7.24%, and that is literally a daily rate index. It's the most accurate because the other ones you'll see out there are for a longer period of time, so they're artificially skewed up or down. But let's not take their word for it. Let's look at what Rocket Mortgage. So this is the largest independent mortgage bank in the United States. They're at 30 years at 7.5 at 2 points, and that's with really good credit. So how do we overcome that with rates in the 7? Let me show you. So this is John and Mary Homebuyer, and they're looking to buy a house for, we're just using an example, $450,000. They're going to put 10% down. Rates are at 7.25. So what we're going to show them is the seller's going to give you 2%. That's $9,000 towards a buy down, and there's an exact number for each buy down. It's usually like 2.1 or 2.05, but we're going to use for the purpose of this 2%. So we're gonna fund a 2-1 buy down strategy. That's going to get your first year interest rate to 5.25. And let me tell you why that's so important. There's been 3 major surveys done since July of 2022, so in the last year. And each one, there's one that I just did a video about a few weeks ago, and the psychology of the home owner today or potential home buyer, so seller, buyer, is that they want to see a 5 handle or below, and even 4, like low 5s, upper 4s. That's the trigger range. So the 5% is the trigger that opens up the market. So not only are you lowering your payment, but you're subconsciously giving them an option, which even though they don't know it, that's what the prevalent belief is everybody has in their subconscious mind. We know that through 3 studies. So you're giving them an option that's likely to trigger an action, and that's the 2-1 buy down. Notice it's $58,000 out of pocket. The payment's $32.54. That's all in. Now let's compare that to what most lenders would offer right now, and it would be a permanent buy down. And this is a side by side with the seller giving the same $9,000, but instead of paying 7.5, say you pay 2 points to buy the rate to 6.99, your payment's $37.11, and your out of pocket's basically the same. So this is obviously a better strategy. Now, the way it works is this payment lasts for 1 year, then it goes up slightly for the next year, and then the final year it goes up to where it would have started. But we know what all the experts are saying is that rates are expected to drop into that 5% range within 12 to 24 months. And the underlying data they're using to make that prediction is coming true. It's just not showing up in the real world. Like right now they're elevated, but as time goes down, they're going to start to wane. And if that happens, we're going to see a frenzied buyer moment, but somebody that owns a house can simply refi into a lower rate, and you want to show them that. So we're showing them how to buy now, how to restructure later, and it works amazingly well. And here's ends up being the payment stream. So you have 12 months at the lower payment, 12 months at still a lower payment, it goes up a little bit, and then 71 months, and then the MI falls off. But basically, the rate goes from 5.25, 6.25, then it gets fixed for the rate. So it's not an adjustable rate. It's just a way to have the seller help pay the mortgage payment. So when you go to your seller and you have a property sitting, if you price it right and you need it to sell, you put that in MLS. There's a lot of buyers that will look at it and say, hey, I can take advantage of that. And their buyer's agents will say, hey, I can take advantage of that. So keep that in mind. If you need help implementing this strategy, I can literally do a report like this for your seller to show them how powerful it is to entice a buyer. And I can also do it for your buyers to get them off the fence and buy. The only caveat for buyers is these have to be seller paid fees. So, once in a while you find a seller, if they find a house where there is 3 offers on there and you can't negotiate based on concession, then, that won't work for them. But for somebody that needs this strategy, There's houses out there right now in which the sellers will easily give up 2% of that sales price to make it work. And you just got to show this to your buyers. All right, guys. So I hope you find that helpful. Please feel comfortable reaching out to me. I'm here to serve you.